Hello, and welcome to Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. A lot's happening this week. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz announced he's withdrawing his name from consideration to be Donald Trump's Attorney General. This was despite him being introduced to Republican senators by Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. Go figure. It didn't help that Matt Gaetz was being vouched for by J.D. Vance, who, without his beard, would look like a marshmallow dressed up as a Make-A-Wish kid. Because of the scandal, Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress and said he wouldn't take his seat, to which he was elected come January. That fits precedent, as he's withdrawing from his time in Congress before it hits 18 years. Matt Gaetz is now on Cameo. That makes sense. A social media app that charges money is where I'd like to relocate if I wanted to introduce myself to another underage girl. As of the recording of this episode, Fox host Pete Hegseth is still being considered for Trump's Secretary of Defense, but there are some allegations that he sexually assaulted a woman at a hotel. I want to say these are pretty serious charges, and it was kept quiet because he was worried that he was going to get fired as host of Fox's weekend show and instead be relegated to running the network. Donald Trump's pick for Surgeon General, Dr. Jeanette Neshawat, says social media should be banned for all teenagers. So that's why Matt Gaetz wanted out of the cabinet. Sebastian Gorka has been selected by Trump to join his national security team to combat terrorism. His only connection to terrorism is that he looks like Saddam Hussein after they pulled him out of the bunker. They're finding out new things about all of Trump's cabinet appointees, like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He once said that Wi-Fi causes leaky brain. That would explain all of the podcasters who have invited me onto their shows this year. I'm surprised Ben Carson hasn't been given a cabinet appointment yet. He probably hasn't woken up from his nap that he started before Trump left 4 years ago. A parade of marchers waving Nazi flags marched down the streets in Cincinnati. The police there are trying to identify the marchers so they can offer them jobs.
Right.
Yep.
And now on with the show. Joining me this week to discuss this week's topics are Chipp Jones, Polite Kitty, Joshua Postel, and Jess Feeney.
Yeah.
Everyone, welcome. This will be going out on Thanksgiving Day, so happy Thanksgiving, technically, everybody.
Hey.
Kill a pilgrim. Kill a pilgrim. Yeah.
What's everyone been up to this week?
Not much, but apparently understanding now that McDonald's has more standards than our U.S. government does, considering we're just allowing rapists and, convicted felons and everything else in.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. I'm really excited.
That's right.
I've actually been watching the news a little bit less this week, because it has been especially triggering. So if I'm a little slow tonight, you'll have to forgive me.
I feel like
you say it's going to be good, like it's a reality show.
Oh, I'd watch that. That's The Handmaid's Tale. It's just The Handmaid's Tale. That's good TV. That's good TV.
That's it.
Just skip a week. You can get caught up. It's easy. Since the election of Donald Trump, his supporters in the conservative movement in general have been emboldened. Louisiana is temporarily blocked from displaying the Ten Commandments in classrooms there, while Oklahoma's superintendent wants a King James Bible in every school. Of course, the irony of ironies is that in Florida, the Bible has been banned in schools, not because of church and state issues, but because of pornographic imagery. I can attest to that. As many as the time, I have cracked one off to the Book of Job.
Gave yourself a little hand job. You're welcome.
Cocky for Job.
With Donald Trump getting ready to place tariffs on imports from countries like Canada, Mexico, and China, at least at the last time I checked before this recording, it is a reality that prices will go up. Actually, that is a benefit to me, as come January, I will be raising the price for a subscription to my OnlyFans.
Awesome.
Did you say you're raising the price of the subscription for your only fan? Is that what you said?
Yes. You know, like it's the American way. Aren't we all excited as our own little entrepreneurs to take part in this great money-making opportunity that'll come January?
Right.
Well, I don't know.
There's a rumor that you're coming from China, Tom, so there's going to be a tariff on your OnlyFans, I think.
Right, it's 25%. So whatever toys and things you're using, man, extra 25% on those things.
The only 25% increase is my viewership. Like that's the only thing. It's like as soon as people don't get their way, they run to the sources of information that they get. So I'm hoping, I'm sort of kind of hoping that some blowback it comes to me at least before I get dragged off to the dissident camp. Like that's my goal.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
We prefer to call it re-education. Yeah.
Tom's blowback is re-education.
It has been, to be honest. It has been many a time.
I'm just like we never. It's just every time you say to yourself, "Couldn't get worse," and the world's like, "Yeah, just hold my beer. Watch this."
That's
Truly.
right.
There was a story in the Atlantic now that apparently Pete Hegseth is not only got a Nazi cross, he's a Holocaust denier, and I'm like, yeah, that's on brand for Fox and the Republicans at this point.
I'm feeling like the citizens must have felt as Rome was falling. You know, they just.
Yeah, but they were just either too baked or too clueless to do anything about it.
And Hegseth doesn't want women in combat. He, I guess, you know, with the accusations against him, he doesn't want women who know how to defend themselves, I guess is what.
Obviously.
Ooh, good point. Good point.
Thing.
Yeah. In his world, women who can defend themselves against feckless bro bags with power trip issues is just not good because, you know, it'll just make it's just an ego killer for him.
Yeah, that's enemy number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is ego, man. It's diabolical.
Well, I could have said boner killer, but you know.
Well, all I know is I know what's coming up next on this episode. Like I'm going over the script, and I still say that this is the cheeriest part of the episode. This is the most uplifting part.
Yeah, it always is. And then you start on the news, and we're all like,
Put away all your sharp items before the next segment.
I would like to give a shout out to Jeff, though. Watched a whole clip on Jesse Waters, and I thought, well, Jeff needs to see this.
Oh, he's coming! Spoiler alert! He'll be helping close out the show.
Oh no!
Awesome.
Oh boy!
Oh, a good thing Jeff's not here tonight.
Yeah.
The Federalist Society featured members who are among the many authors of Project 2025. Although Donald Trump has denied that he wants to implement many of the ideas found in the 900-plus pages of the authoritarian manifesto, many of his cabinet appointees and supporters want to go ahead and proceed making Project 2025 a reality, as we can see in this excerpt of an interview with Trump cabinet hopeful Mike Davis.
Mike, I've never called for lava to rain down from the heavens, but maybe upon Washington, D.C. Would you be that sweet red-hot lava for us?
I've never been called sweet, and you call me Sweet Ginger, so I think I'm in, Ben. During my 3-week reign of terror as Trump acting attorney general, before I get chased out of town with my Trump pardon, I will rain hell on Washington, D.C. We've talked about this, Ben. I have 5 lists ready to go, and they're growing. List number 1, we're going to fire. We're going to fire a lot of people in the executive branch, the deep state. Number 2, we're going to indict. We're going to indict Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and James Biden and every other scumball, sleazeball Biden. Number 3, we're going to deport. We're going to deport a lot of people, 10 million people and growing, anchor babies, their parents, their grandparents. We're going to put kids in cages. It's going to be glorious. We're going to detain a lot of people in the DC Gulag and Gitmo. And list number 5, I'm going to recommend a lot of pardons. Every January 6th defendant is going to get a pardon, especially my hero, Hornman. He is definitely at the top of the pardon list.
Wow.
What the
Whoa.
fuck, dude?
I know, like, if ananybody, like, if there's any ginger who can give tips on being run out of town, like, I'm right here.
This is like Nazi porn fetish for these guys. This is
Yeah.
wow.
He said all of the quiet parts loud.
Yeah.
And confidently.
Right.
Yeah, very loud. My goodness. Who is this guy in the Federalist Society?
He's one of the like the
Architects
top
of
the top
2025.
executives. Yeah.
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 Jesus Christ.
It's like wow. Don't
Yeah.
it's like forget being on brand. It's like did they just like copy and paste everything from Mein Kampf at this
Truly,
point?
like, how
Really?
how are they not aware of how evil they sound? They're talking about raining fire.
That's right.
And, like, you don't talk like that and, like, stop and ask yourself, like, are we the baddies? Like,
They're assuming they're capable of thinking that.
Well, they sort of balanced it out because they started out calling each other sweet, so it was kind of a gay moment for them.
it was
And
so
then
gay.
then they moved into the harder
The
stuff.
sweet hot lava.
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
First thought when
yeah. I was
I first thought when I
I was
heard
waiting
that,
to
I
hear
was
that
like-
guitar with the wah-wah pedal in the background.
Yeah. I've never gone so quickly from being
70s
so
porn
creeped
music.
out to so horrified. That was and
the lava,
uncomfortable.
the
You haven't
lava
done very
thing-
many episodes of this show, Jess.
That's
To be
right.
fair, I mean, we
the
do that a
lava
lot.
thing.
I
The
guess.
lava thing was just like sort of bro bag Barstool Sports meets turbo bottom closet face. Wow.
So the funny thing is that the guys with the Federalist Papers, right? And he's talking about deporting anchor babies. Isn't that in the Constitution, the 14th Amendment? Isn't that?
I'm shocked
Isn't
that
that
people
a
are still.
Isn't there a problem with that? There,
Yeah, I'm shocked that people are still using that for. I mean, that he could be so just saying it with his chest.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
the floor has truly dropped out from under us. I hope he doesn't get the job. What is he going for, Attorney General?
No.
No, they've already
No.
got
What is-
plans for that.
Right. Who is he? What is he going for? Do we even
He's-
know?
Like I think he said he's going for one of the acting attorney generals because even he realizes that like a lot of his fellow ilk aren't going to be able to stick around for long. It's like they know that they're going to be caught in scandals. I think is how that is how.
I
that
mean,
works.
maybe not though. Like, like I don't think it could get much crazier. It doesn't really seem like scandal is a big issue for
Don't say that. That's like when the universe is like, oh really?
I-
What's
the,
this?
Hold my beer.
the universe has been like, oh really, and hold my beer for the past month at least. I'm trying to manage my expectations, I guess.
So should we all take a drink every time we say that phrase this next coming season? On Tom's
So you're pulling for a rise in alcoholism. Is that where you're going?
It's gonna
I'm
happen
sorry.
whether we pull for it or not. That's we're gonna.
Oh,
we're all
there's
gonna
definitely going to be a rise in alcoholism.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to
I'm like I live in Maryland. A rise in alcoholism is not possible. Trust
That's
me.
right.
I know this.
be.
Following the withdrawal of Matt Gaetz as Trump's pick for Attorney General, the next choice was former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, who at one point talked then Florida Governor Rick Scott into moving an execution to a different date so she could attend a political fundraiser, thus making her the perfect Trump acolyte as she possesses two of the major qualifications for their world: making money and accommodating adjudicated rapists. Pam Bondi has all the charm of an action movie villain who drugs her dates drinks. To see her legal prowess, one only needs to look at this clip from her defense in Trump's first impeachment trial in early 2020.
We also know that Hunter Biden went to Norway on a fishing trip, and he took his daughter and his nephew. So he took two of Joe Biden's children with him on a fishing trip to Norway with Zlochevsky, and that is as much as we know, other than his statement that he attended one or two board meetings. Factually, that is what he said, and the timeline shows that, again, Devin Archer was on the board with him, and then Hunter Biden remained on the board, but factually in the record, that is as much as we know that he did involving Burisma and Zlochevsky. The Norway trip was June of 2015. He remained on the board until April of 2019.
Like, I've refused service. I've refused service to drunks who've made more sense than that.
That's not drunks. That's like the worst crowd work comic at an open mic ever. Really. That's like, what?
She's acting like there was like one word written on each page.
Page, right?
Yeah.
In April of like 6 pages 2019.
I think Congress should have the same rule as we try to do with comedy. Is you don't bring your notes up on stage, right? You should know your stuff before you perform. You know?
It was like God, you're trying to do crowd work and you're still going for your notes. Good
That's
God.
Well, as far as we know, that's what she was trying to do.
Yeah, it felt like that. I was like, wow.
Isn't this the lady who's up for department, the head of Department of Education?
No, Attorney General.
Oh, Attorney General.
Attorney General. Okay, I was gonna say, oh my gosh.
That's like they cleared away the statutory rapist and made room for her, and they thought, I mean, on paper that would look better, but in practicality, that's like we're fucked.
Oh yeah.
They might as well have nominated Alina Habba. Like, what is this? What is this lady doing? I don't know.
They'll try and nominate her for something too. Watch.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you guys caught it, but in the beginning, she said something like Hunter Biden brought his daughter and his nephew, and those are two of Joe Biden's children.
Yeah, it's like is that West Virginia genealogy? What is that?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what kind of family you come from, baby girl, but for the rest of us, that doesn't stack up.
Not so much a tree as a bush. It's not a family.
As the reality of Donald Trump's election sinks in, a debate that will be ratcheted up is the one over immigration and who should really be in this country. In this clip, we see Trump's new border czar, Tom Homan, provide a preview of a new state of immigration law under the soon-to-be 47th president.
I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, a suggestion: if you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way, if we're going to do it. So if we can't get assistance from New York City, and we may have to double the number of agents we send in New York City, because we're going to do the job. We're going to do the job without you or with you. But it's much easier to arrest a bad guy. Like I just said, we're concentrating on public safety threats of human and national security threats. Right. It's much easier to arrest a bad guy in the jail. Give us access to Rikers Island that we've been kicked out of. Let us get the bad guy in jail. It's safer for the alien. It's safer for the officer. It's safer for the community. But if you're going to release these bad guys, out in the community, then we're going to have to go find them, which puts the officer at risk, puts the community at risk, and puts, and bottom line is, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals.
Now he said it's easier to arrest the bad. I'm paraphrasing, but he said it's easier to arrest the bad guys when they're in jail. Like, does he not know how arresting people works?
Right.
Yeah, he's putting the
Yeah,
cart
they're
before the
already
horse.
under arrest. They're in jail, dude.
Right. You know what's funny on this is that these guys are talking about the states stopping them from doing what they want to do as a federal government, and these are the same guys at the beginning of Trump's first term that said, "Hey, all this stuff about the Civil War and slavery, it wasn't about slavery; it was about states' rights." Like,
yeah, I was about to say that. It's like
Yes!
they're like
it's like what?
Suddenly the states' rights people are like, no, we will bend to our will.
Well, that's right.
What?
That's even Rand Paul has come out against this proposal. Like, what are you doing sending federal troops and federal officers into the states? Like he, as nuts as he is, like he actually sounds reasonable.
Right. And again, there we go with the Constitution. Posse comitatus. It's like nobody ever heard of it. It's like, come on. It's like,
I don't think that they have. I think a requirement is to just not read the Constitution and go in gun-ho, no pun intended, for whatever you want to do in Congress.
Yeah, it's like the Bible. They're like, it says this because I wanted to say this.
Right.
And that's how I'm going to act.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're just cherry picking and then interpreting it the way they want to.
Kind of like I do with my podcast reviews.
Guys have been doing.
Also, I love how these guys 2 years ago were busing immigrants into sanctuary cities. They 2 years ago they were like, "Here's all these immigrants," and now they're like, "Give me your immigrants." I'm like, pick a lane, bro. New York City is not complaining about our fucking immigrants. I'm sorry, we're fine. We do not have an immigrant problem.
Right.
Keep New York out your fucking mouth.
They just don't want to hear that. It's like they can't make up their minds about anything. It's like that. It's like that. What was that movie? It was like that Faye Dunaway movie where it's like my sister, my daughter, my sister, my daughter. Make up your mind.
Chinatown. Yeah.
Of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't cover a Thanksgiving-related topic on this episode. As if we need another excuse to avoid relatives for the holiday season, this year's election cycle provides the perfect chance to avoid certain relatives, as Fox's Jesse Waters demonstrates with regard to his mother in these excerpts.
I don't know about you, but last Thanksgiving, I cleared the whole table out. I don't know if everybody knows, my family's all Democrats. I just sat at the end of the table. By the end of the night, I had my wine. No one wanted to have anything to do with me because obviously I was feeling pretty good. Mom texts. Oh, boy.
Yeah, here we go.
All right. You were over the moon, obnoxious, and nasty to Jessica. Apologize to her and to your group. Wow. Awful behavior, Jesse.
Yeah.
This is from yesterday. Purple hair and nose rings doesn't mean a person is worthless or non-human. Where's your humanity? Yuck, Jesse. Please do your level best not to sink lower. And then lastly, homeless people are not homeless because they want to be. It's a terrible situation in which to find oneself, and God knows one's family. Of course, they're a professional homeless, but Jay, get a grip. Big picture, please. Double heart.
Double heart.
Yep, people are taking some space in the Waters household. I'll have you know that I was not invited to my mother's house for Thanksgiving. Apparently, there wasn't enough room. She said it was a scheduling situation, and then at the last second invited me to come over on Black Friday. I told her no thanks. I'll be at Best Buy.
Oh,
no
my
double
God.
hearts.
That's it.
Oh, that's so
But
sad.
So at the
It's
Waters
so
family,
on brand for him.
at the Waters family, they've got the dinner table, the kids' table, and then they've got Jesse's table in the basement. Is how it works out.
No, it's family table, kids table, Nazi table.
Didn't
That was
he
the
say?
clip that I was watching, and he said at one of his Thanksgiving dinners, they actually made him sit at the end of the table by himself.
Oh my God, they hate him. Oh my God.
Well, would
That's
you do?
crazy. Yeah, I would, but okay, so I guess I kind of just assume that people that are at this level who are so ingrained in this world have people around them that support it. I just can't believe he's gotten this far while having people who love him around him.
Yeah, because I mean,
Continuing to communicate
even Hitler
with
had a girlfriend, right? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, he did, but she probably wasn't that great. I mean,
At some point,
she probably didn't vote for Joe Biden, like,
right.
but that's crazy. That's sad. I mean, I'm not sad for him, but it's sad that can happen to somebody who's that prominent in that world.
I think it's sad for a family.
It's sad for a family. That's exactly right.
They have someone in their family. They're like, oh, where did we go wrong?
Well, truly, I mean, it just goes to show the cult-like nature of this whole thing. Like, people get sucked in. It doesn't matter how the people. Sorry, I'm getting serious, but like,
That's right.
it doesn't matter how the people around you feel. The people who love you, people who are trying to steer you away from it. You're just locked in.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel happy for the family, but bad for the Best Buy employees. Like, what did they do? Like, the only joy they get would be watching Jesse Waters get trampled by the shoppers as they enter.
So in the 30s and the 40s, Jesse would be that child that they would lock in the attic. No. Didn't the Waters family have 4 kids at one point? No, I think they only have 3.
Yeah, this just turned into American Horror Story real quick.
The whole thing has become American Horror Story.
Jesse is the Boo Radley of the Waters family. hide him away.
This is exactly how I plan the holiday version of this podcast.
Happy holidays, like and subscribe.
Hit the like button if you're watching this on YouTube.
That's right.
And on that note, that's our show. I want to thank Chipp Jones, Polite Kitty, Joshua Postel, and Jess Feeney.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
But before we go, I like to leave you with this festive final thought for this year's Thanksgiving. There are many things in which we can be thankful for. I, for one, am thankful for a lot of the celebrities that we have, in fact, lost this year. And I will go ahead and list the ones for which I'm the most thankful. First, I'm thankful that we lost O.J. Simpson, as he is now a client of a satanic dominatrix for all of eternity. Second, I am thankful for the loss of fitness guru Richard Simmons, who showed us the only way to lose weight successfully is by decomposing. Third, I'm thankful for the loss of Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
Oh, jeez.
Why? Because she never responded to my dick pics. Fourth, I'm thankful for the loss of Donald Sutherland, who helped make The Hunger Games a very popular movie, and thus now we are going into a period of time where we are going to be The Hunger Games without the games. Fifth, I'm thankful for the loss of Ethel Kennedy, who provided us with RFK Jr. Sixth, I'm thankful for the loss of Chuck Woolery, for making Pat Sajak look more appealing. And, despite being a COVID denialist, did not die from COVID-19. And finally, I'm thankful for the loss of Toby Keith. Simply for being Toby Keith. Happy Thanksgiving, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and goodbye. This episode was written and hosted by Tom Myers with panelists Chipp Jones, Polite Kitty, Joshua Postel, and Jess Feeney. Theme music composed and arranged by Jeroen van den Hurck. Executive producers Tom Myers, Matt Connarton for ipmNation, and Eddie Carson for Odyssey Radio. Please leave a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Tom Myers, for access to ad-free episodes, extended episodes, and bonus clips. Also, if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for listening, and please visit tommyers.us.